Today, we are going to take a journey into the mysterious and amazing world of eagles. In this documentary, we want to show you how these ruthless sky hunters have faced various enemies throughout history. From prehistoric times to the present day, there have been various enemies who have tried to defeat eagles, or at least bring them down from the skies. But the question is, what made eagles continue to rule the skies? In this video, we will go back in time and see how eagles confronted mammoths, saber-toothed tigers, sky hunters, and even humans. From dangerous prehistoric times to the modern world, eagles' enemies have always sought to take the celestial crown of these powerful birds. So, get ready to travel together through the history of eagles and see what enemies were a real threat to these legendary creatures. Now we're going to talk about a legendary battle, but here's an important question. Did eagles really fight dinosaurs like Tyrannosaurus? The short answer is no, because eagles evolved millions of years after the giant dinosaurs went extinct. But what if a bird of prey like an eagle had lived at that time? Tyrannosaurus, a ferocious 12-meter-long giant with teeth like butcher knives, certainly had no fear of a bird. On the other hand, there were early birds of prey that were distant ancestors of today's eagles. Birds like Archaeopteryx, which roamed the trees, may have had to face terrestrial predators and find a way to escape. But what if eagles had lived at that time? Rather than engaging directly, they probably surveyed the situation from above, looking for opportunities to steal prey or attack smaller dinosaurs. Eagles are opportunistic hunters, not direct combatants. So it's true that eagles never fought Tyrannosaurus, but if they had, they would have likely come up with a clever survival strategy, just as they rule the skies today. Now, we are going to talk about two of the deadliest predators in history. One is the king of the jungle, the other the king of the sky. But were lions and eagles really enemies? The truth is that lions and eagles do not fight directly in nature, because one rules the land and the other the sky. But that does not mean that there have been no clashes between them. Imagine a large eagle, such as the golden eagle, flying over the African plains, looking for an opportunity to hunt. A lion cub that has strayed from its mother can be easy prey for this aerial predator. This has actually happened in nature today. On the other hand, if an eagle gets too close to the ground, lions may attack it, especially if it tries to steal food from their prey. Lions protect their food, and if an eagle approaches a carcass that the lions have killed, it will face the lion's fierce claws. So, lions and eagles are not direct enemies, but sometimes their paths would cross, and if necessary, they would enter into a dangerous fight. Both of them are excellent hunters who ruled their own territory. Now, we are going to talk about one of the strange enemies of eagles, a creature that neither flies in the sky nor hunts on the ground, but is a sea monster. What do whales, eagles, and whales have to do with each other? Could these two be enemies? The answer to this question comes down to something very important, namely the diet of eagles. Eagles are always looking for animal carcasses, especially near the coast. Now, imagine a dead whale lying by the sea, and that means it is a big feast for birds of prey. But the problem here is that eagles were not the only guests at this feast. In the past, when a whale came to the shore, other predators such as giant bears and prehistoric wolves also came to that area. These predators were much larger and stronger than eagles and did not allow the eagles to easily take their food. On the other hand, live whales were also a threat to the eagles, because these birds of prey usually dive to catch fish on the surface of the water, but whales could create huge waves with one movement and drive the eagles away from their range. And this does not mean that whales were directly enemies of the eagles, but they always caused them trouble, whether they were alive or dead. Now we are going to talk about a strange confrontation, gorillas against eagles. But did these two creatures really fight? Could gorillas hunt eagles? Gorillas were powerful giants of the forest. With their powerful arms, they could shake trees and even knock down an enemy with a single blow. But the problem was that eagles were much faster than a gorilla could catch them. But imagine for a moment, a baby eagle in a nest high in a tall tree, and a hungry gorilla who found it there. Gorillas are usually herbivores, but if the opportunity arose, they might go for bird eggs or even chicks. On the other hand, eagles were not defenseless either. A large eagle, if it feels its nest is in danger, may attack a gorilla with its sharp talons, especially towards the eyes, which are a gorilla's weak point. So it's true that an adult gorilla couldn't hunt an eagle, but if the opportunity arose, it could be a serious threat to the eagle's chicks. And this means a hidden battle between these two creatures in the prehistoric forests, and these incidents happen very rarely in the forests of today. Now, we are going to talk about a strange battle in prehistoric times where early humans and eagles faced each other. But why would these two creatures fight each other at all? Imagine a tribe in an open plain, and there are people who are just learning how to hunt, how to survive, and even how to access a lot of food. And eagle eggs were one of the important sources of food for them. But the problem was that eagles did not let anyone easily approach their nests. Every Stone Age warrior would always approach a cliff to steal the eggs of birds and even eagles, but he would be met with a lightning attack. The eagles would attack with their sharp talons to the head and face, and could even throw a defenseless hunter from a height. However, humans were not defenseless. Some tribes even hunted eagles to use their feathers for clothing and war symbols. This meant a constant battle between heaven and earth, where both sides fought for survival. When a big change happens in nature, it's not just animals that are affected, but humans too. How did the locals and even the people around them feel now that the buffalo are back on the land? Did they welcome the change, or were they worried? Some people, especially those interested in nature and wildlife, were excited to see the buffalo on the plains. For them, it was a big step towards restoring balance to the environment. Some researchers and environmentalists even came to see this historic event up close and see how the herd was coping with its new environment. But not everyone was happy. Some local farmers and ranchers were worried. They thought the buffalo's presence could be dangerous, as they are strong and unpredictable animals. The main concern was that if the herd entered the farmland, their crops might be damaged. Some even thought that the buffaloes could become dangerous and attack domestic livestock. There was another group that used this situation as an opportunity. Some realized that the return of the buffaloes could attract tourists to the area, including nature tours, wildlife photographers, and various researchers who were willing to spend money to see these buffaloes up close. It created a new economic opportunity for the locals. Ultimately, people's views on this change varied. Some were happy, some were worried, and some were looking for new opportunities. But what was clear was that the buffalo's return had an impact on human lives as well. Now we are going to talk about a special battle, a confrontation between human commandos and hunting eagles. But why did ancient warriors fight eagles at all? In ancient times, some tribes and warriors used eagles as a symbol of strength and courage. Hunting a large eagle showed how skilled and fearless a warrior was. But hunting an eagle was not an easy task. Eagles were fast, had sharp talons, and attacked from above the sky. Some warriors shot the eagles with bows and arrows, while others tried to catch them alive by setting traps. Sometimes these clashes happened by chance. For example, when eagles went to the warriors' prey or stole their provisions. In these situations, the warriors had to defend themselves and drive the eagle away or even kill it. So this battle was not an equal fight, but a confrontation between intelligence and strength. The ancient warriors with their weapons and strategies, and the eagles with their speed and flying power. When something changes in nature, there are always scientists who have predictions about it. The release of buffalo was one of them. Many said that this was going to save the ecosystem, but did it really? From the very first days, researchers began to study the changes that were taking place in the environment. One of the first things they noticed was that the vegetation was improving. By grazing, the buffalo prevented the overgrowth of some invasive plants and allowed other species to grow again. This was exactly what was predicted, but something unexpected happened. Scientists expected that the hunters in the area would quickly adapt to the presence of buffalo, but on the contrary, the number of lion attacks decreased. This was because the buffalo moved in large groups and by cooperating with each other, caused trouble for the hunters. This shows that not everything always goes according to plan, but overall, the scientists were pleased with the outcome of the project and even realized that nature always has things that even the most accurate scientific models cannot predict. Now, we are going to talk about a scary battle in the rivers, hawks versus giant crocodiles. But weren't eagles in the sky? So why should we be afraid of crocodiles? Well, the story started with eagles coming to the riverbanks to hunt. They usually caught the fish on the surface with a quick dive, but the problem was that sometimes there was a hidden predator waiting for them below, a crocodile. Crocodiles were masters of camouflage and could stay underwater for hours without moving. When an eagle got too close to the water, a crocodile would suddenly jump out of the water at incredible speed and try to catch it. Many eagles resting on the branches near the river were surprised by the crocodile's sudden jump. Even sometimes, when the eagles were busy eating a prey on the ground, the crocodiles would quietly and silently approach them and make a lightning attack. Therefore, the eagles knew that the rivers always had a hidden danger. So although the eagles were the rulers of the sky, they always had to be careful near the rivers, because one wrong move could turn them into crocodile prey. Now, we are going to talk about one of the most fearsome enemies of eagles, an enemy that had no teeth, no claws, but could destroy eagles. Fierce storms. Eagles were masters of flight and always played with the air currents. But when a storm came, everything changed. Strong winds could take control of the flight from the eagles and throw them miles away. Many eagles that built nests in tall trees lost their nests in terrible storms. Some even got caught in the air and could not control their direction. If the storm was very strong, it could drag the eagles straight into the sea or dangerous mountains where there was no way back. Torrential rains were another problem. When eagles' feathers get wet, they become heavy and it becomes difficult for them to fly. That's why many eagles try to find a safe place during a storm and don't fly until the weather calms down. So even the kings of the sky have a great enemy, storms that can destroy everything with a single move. Subscribe to our channel. Thank you for being with us until the end of the video, and God bless you until the next video.